Hi! Hey guys, my name is Chanel Perrillo, and I'm a casting director and producer based in Los Angeles. I've cast shows like Drag Race, F-Boy Island, the Real Housewives franchise, and Million Dollar Listing, to name a few. I want to welcome you to Shut Up Chanel, a podcast where I take you through my LGBTQIA+ journey, while each week I get to chat with the queer royalty that helped shape me. Buckle up, because I know you're going to want to tell me to shut up.
Shut up, Chanel! Shut up, Chanel! Chanel, shut up! Shut up, shut up, shut up, Chanel! Shut up, Chanel! Shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up, Chanel! Shut up, shut up, shut up, Chanel!
Oh my God!
Oh my God.
Oh my God, hold on one second. All right. She's not just my sister, but she's a true social media pioneer, an amazing wife, a fierce businesswoman, an actress, a model, and a dedicated advocate for the LGBTQ plus community. Welcome to the motherfucking stage, Gigi Gorgeous.
Oh my God, yes. It's finally happening.
I cannot believe it's finally happening. It's taken us so long, yet we hang out like all the time.
Yeah, and can we just say we are in the same house? I'm just downstairs and you're upstairs in my closet. Just for sound purposes, we needed to separate.
I am in Gigi Gorgeous's closet right now. I got the good lighting. No, you look fucking amazing.
Oh my God, thank you. I fucking hope so. This is my studio, bitch.
Yeah, so Gigi was like, why don't you just come over and then we can have a girls' night after? And I was like, but I do it on Zoom. And you were like, I got you covered. And you did. I came over. You had a glass of wine waiting for me. And now we're about to get the fuck into it.
Yes, I'm so excited. Oh my God, I can't wait to hear what you have planned because I have no idea, but I can only see it going in the most fun way ever. And I'm just so excited to sit down with you for an hour and just like talk. And I think there's a lot of stuff that people don't know about us as friends. You know, we're not always posting together all the time. I feel like I've always said real friends don't really take photos together. And we're always the ones saying, oh my God, we never got a photo last night because we just like forget.
But you always manage to take like my solo photo. That's what happens is we're like so into like getting photos captured for each other that like by the end of it, we're like, okay, let's go get a cocktail at the bar. Like we're not taking photos together.
Yeah, because it feels like cheesy, right? Like I feel like real friends, like me and like my sister, me and, you know, my husband, me and like any of my best friends, like we just never like are like cheese, like unless the other one like makes it happen. But of course we're gonna get the content for each other. That's what friends are for.
Well, I just want to let you know that but at the end of this interview, I feel like I need to like still like reel it back to like my casting director. Like I feel like all my episodes have been like this younger version of myself, which is the point of this podcast is I really like wanted to like take myself and the listener through like my journey through the LGBTQIA plus community. But I still want to, like use my casting director, I don't know, my casting director, like skills. So at the end of this interview, and what inspired it was when I was on your podcast, you asked me this question at the end and you were like, what show would you cast me on? And I remember being like so nervous and like, was like, but like you're, in my eyes, you're already famous. Like you're already there. And so it was hard. But so what I'm going to do in this situation is I'm going to pretend it's like an alternate universe.
Okay.
And
I'm ready.
What show I would cast you on in an alternate universe? Because all my guests are already like have been on TV or have, are a name for themselves already. So I was like, how could I still make this work? So that's a little game we're going to play. So get ready. And I love to start off each podcast with how we met. So I want your interpretation of how you and I met.
Okay. Okay, my memory's horrible. You know this, but anybody listening, I have like the worst memory. Like ask me what I did last Friday. I'd be like, give me a second, let me check my calendar and let me check my photos because I don't know. Literally. Like, I don't know what it is. I just terrible memory. Always has been, always will be. I remember you and I was probably 19, maybe 20. I was in LA, and I remember we went to this after party, and this is definitely how I met Marco, the designer.
Shout out.
And shout out, hey. And I think that this is our origin story as well. So we were at this after party, and I walked in, and like many after parties, it's just after the club, it's 2 a.m. Everyone's like, where should we go? It was at this random apartment with not much furniture. The person had just moved in. There was a mattress on the floor and maybe, I don't know, 20 people in like a 1-bedroom apartment. Very standard for LA after parties, unless you're going to like some mansion in the hills or whatever. You know, still, you don't know whose place it is. You just go.
There's no in between in LA. Like, you're either in like a tiny apartment with like the air conditioner coming out of the wall. Like, I have one, so I'm not even judging that.
No shade.
But like,
no, it's just
it's
reality.
West Hollywood. You're either in like a small West Hollywood apartment, like you see on Vanderpump Rules, or you're in a mansion. Like, there's no middle class in the after party house that you go to.
No, it's so fucking true. So we were sitting there, and I'm on the mattress. I don't know how I got a spot on the mattress, but I'm just on the mattress on the ground. I believe there was like a dog, and I'm sitting next to Marco. And I think that that's where we met too. And it was just kind of this like, who are you? Your aura's cute. Oh my God. Like, some people you just gravitate towards. Was that the night that we met?
No, I can't believe like Marco and I share your memory, your core memory of me.
Well, I'm just bad. I've talked to Marco about this. That's why.
No, I mean, a lot of my memory, and that could have been it. Like, you might be right, but you did just say that you have the worst memory ever. So.
I do. Admittedly so. I'm like terrible.
Well, and I think that night you're talking about is one of the nights, like one of our first nights, because there is this one night, and it might have been it, but like you came to Foo Bar. This isn't my first night meeting you was the club that Poppy was before it was Poppy.
What was it before?
Oh, I've been trying to think for so long.
Terrible memory. Wait, Poppy. It was Bagatelle.
No, I'm thinking like Hooray Henry's.
Oh, no, that was the one beside. No, Hooray Henry's was all blue. I have memories there.
And that's not the old Poppy?
I don't think so. I think it was Bagatelle. It was fucking, what's that steak restaurant?
Catch?
No, not Catch. It was the one with like the tusks coming off the wall.
We're going to call it the club before it was Poppy is what we're going to call it because it's
STK. It was STK.
I don't think so. No.
It was STK. It was. Poppy was STK.
No, because I remember we were in a booth. So my memory is I have this one, that's what I was going to try to see like what you thought. I have this image of you like coming to Foo Bar on a random weeknight and me being like, who's that? And you had this like cute little blonde hair and
you were short, like still like
short. You were visiting from Canada. No, not short. Like I'm like a bob almost.
Yeah. So,
but the night I specifically remember. What did you just say?
I said, but yeah, like short hair, but like a girl, like
yeah.
pretty?
I mean, yeah, you were adorable. Like I was like, who is she? Like who is she? You were gorgeous. You've always been beautiful, like always. But the night I remember, we're in a booth. We'll just say I still don't think you're right. I still don't think it was STK because maybe I have the whole club wrong, but I have this
think
image.
It is. I think STK was Poppy, and then the one beside. What's the restaurant beside Poppy?
I'm thinking Hooray Henry's.
Yeah, that's a totally different side of town. We got to hit up H-Wood for this one.
Marsha,
I think that
we're shooting you a text
because I think that you're wrong. I don't know why I'm so like I'm right, but I feel like I'm right.
I'm
We got to hit up Google Maps.
We gotta hit up Google Maps after this. It was, I know, I should have done my research, listeners. Okay, so I remember us being in this booth, and it was with Marsha, and we were at the table, and like what I would, in the beginning of my LGBTQIA plus journey, I would still like have nights where I'd be like, I gotta go to like an H1 night. Like it was like, I had had enough Abby. Like, it had hit a point in the night where the Abby was too much for me, and I would text Marsha, and I'd be like, can I come? And she'd be like, fuck yeah. And so I would go, and she would set me at the table, and I wouldn't know anyone at the table, but I would still have, like, the best night of my life. And I loved that. I loved, like, there is this, like, sense of freedom, like, going to a club when you only know one person that's going to be there and, like, not knowing, like, who you're going to meet or, like, who's going to sit at your table. Well, that night, you were seated at the table, and we were introduced, and we were sitting, like, they sat you, like, one person away from me. And me and you, like, kept giving each other the eye. And you were like, and you, like, we were whispering at each other. And, like, that was, and I remember the girl ended up moving. You came and sat next to me, and I was like, I think I've seen you at Foo Bar before. And I was like, are you from here? And you're like, no, I'm visiting from Canada. I'm getting my boobs done tomorrow.
Oh my God. Oh, I remember. It was Hooray Henry's.
Ding, ding, ding.
It was Hooray Henry's, but that's not what Poppy is now. Or was. No. Oh my God, I remember this. And then, yes, I remember this. The blue walls.
Yes, and I had just gotten my boobs done myself. It was like right after season 4, and I had just got my boobs done that summer. So I wonder when, and so it was the night before your boob job, and I was trying to give you all the advice, like, girl, like you're gonna love it. It's gonna. I know.
I remember now. Oh my God.
So what year was that? What year did you get your boobs done?
That was, okay, so I am 31 now. I got my boobs done for my 21st birthday. So I was 20, so 11 years ago. And that's my first boob job, but I've gotten 2 more since. So big mistake, huge. I just went for it, and it was just not the tea. I needed 3.
I will say that, like, whenever I think about getting my boobs redone, you're always like, do it.
Yeah, do it. I mean, the ones that I have now, I don't know if anybody knows, but they're like, oh, you need to get your boobs done every 10 years. No. I got my boobs done the third time, and they're gummy bear silicone not injections. Mm-hmm. They're gummy bear silicone implants, and he said that they're good for 50 years. So I'm like, bitch, like, I'm never getting them done again.
Mm-mm. I just think as you get older, like, there's just, like, talk of, like, the statistics of them breaking, but not the gummy bear. I feel like
the gummy bear, you can't. He cut them with scissors in front of me.
Yeah.
Like, they can't rupture. They can't leak. There's nothing that could go wrong.
Oh, my God.
Unless I get in, like, a major car accident or something. I don't know.
What was going on? Like, what brought you to LA? I want that story. Like, we met that night at Poppy. I'm still pushing Poppy. We met that night. Fuck. We met that night at Hooray Henry's, and I remember us like you would come and visit, and like there was like spurts of you. What brought you to LA? Like, and what was, like, what you came and got your boobs done in LA, and was that always the goal, LA, for you?
So looking back, it's kind of crazy because it just happened. But I think even though this is like maybe not the whole driving force or the whole sole reason, but The Hills on MTV had a humongous role in me just like romanticizing LA. And
Gigi.
So I don't know.
How did I never know that? You've never told me this, and yet, like, I was living, like,
you were going to Ledoux with fucking Lauren Conrad and Heidi and Spencer. Like, I could gag.
I went to FIT'em with LC.
I can't. I mean, that was literally my childhood dream.
That's so. I mean, but that's. I've never known that between us is like my driving force was like I found out about FIT'em through the fucking Laguna Beach. And then me and my girlfriends were like, let's go to FIT'em. And so.
Do you think they paid the girls to go to FIT'em? Because I'm sure it drove a lot of like money towards the school.
I never even thought about that.
But right? Like how
were,
Taylor Swift is doing the Travis Kelce or Kelsey Travis, whatever his name is. Like, I mean, she's getting paid by the NFL, right?
I mean, I've thought that too. It's like
I've never cared about football before this.
Little girls are dressing like up to watch Taylor Swift play NFL.
Exactly. So like MTV must have had a deal with FITM. Come on.
I mean, if it got 5 of my girlfriends from like one school in Rancho Bernardo, think about the statistics and think about how much money. And that was at the beginning. I bring it up on every episode of this podcast, the 2006 recession. Every fucking... Not one episode I have not brought this up, but
amazing.
But like everyone was broke, and they were getting all these broke girls to go to college, like, and that school was like $50K a year.
Oh wow! Oh, that's pretty standard though for America.
In a trade school, like it was a trade school,
right?
But okay, so the Hills inspired you.
The Hills inspired me. So I always, I was in high school. I didn't really know what to do. And then I went to college, but never really went in Toronto. And so after high school, every single year, I have 2 brothers, one older, one younger. And my parents said, after you graduate high school, we'll take you on a trip and we'll, go anywhere you want. One of my brothers went to Boston. I chose Los Angeles. And my dad took my older brother. And then when it came around to my turn, my mom said, I think that I'm going to take this child. And I said, I really want to go to LA. And we went, and I had already been on YouTube for a little bit at that point. And this is going to be total full circle. She was like, okay, if you want to go to LA, and I was not transitioned yet, nothing. She said, can I invite one of my girlfriends and her daughter? And so it was the 4 of us. And I said, yeah, of course, like for sure. It's so fun. So we all went, and I was booked at the Abbey for a meet and greet and a 5 beauty tips and tricks speech, basically. In the back room, way at the back at like noon. Like it was like during the day. Yes. So we stayed at the Best Western on Sunset Boulevard.
Across this, that's the hotel in front of my house. In front of my...
Literally.
Crazy.
Okay, so yeah,
it's a very fancy Best Western on Sunset Boulevard.
It is cute. No, I was so excited. I just remember getting there with my mom and her girlfriend. Her name is Linda, and her daughter Brienne. And we all just went there, and I had no idea where we were. I just knew we were on somewhere really, steep up the mountain because we had come from the airport. I was like, oh, this is like the most major spot in the city. Like we're on Sunset Boulevard. This is so fun. And I remember freaking out because I had nothing to wear, and we were in the room, and I was trying on shorts and pants, and we went to Santee Alley to go get like high heels for me, and it was just a crazy time. And I just remember thinking that LA is so different than I imagined it to be. I thought it was so glitz, so glam. I thought it was the hills. Like I just thought it was literally just perfection. Everyone's gorgeous. Come to find out it is not like that at all. And that was like my first taste. And it was for work, mind you, but I also worked it into my parents' gift to go wherever I wanted to go.
Yeah.
And it was like, I was just hooked after that. I was like, the air feels different in LA, the temperature, like just the glow. I convinced myself that there was like a glow to the air in LA. Like I was like hooked.
Is that, do a lot of people from Canada look at LA that way? Because I feel like a lot of Canadians come here, and so there must be like something to that, like that they like look at LA like it's this like magical place.
Personally speaking, I feel like I was like a big fish in a small pond, but I really do like live really fast, and like granted, I am trans. I've lived a lot. My mom has since passed, so like I have really gone through a lot. And I just felt like I had outgrown my roots of my hometown. I don't think it's like a Canada thing necessarily. I just feel like wherever I was from, even if it was from like Northern California, I would have been like, I want something different. I want something more fast paced, like city vibes. I feel like if it wasn't LA, it was going to be New York.
I feel like I knew that you and your mom made a trip out here, but I didn't know it was like that was like the trip that like sold you on moving here.
Yeah, and the crazy part also was, so I was underage at the time, and I was doing this speech at the Abbey. It was with some brand. I think it was called Lasham. It was like a lash growing serum that I was working with. And I remember the call time was noon at the Abbey, and I gave like a 15-minute speech or whatever. And then after that, we took pictures, hung out with people, and like of course I wasn't drinking, and like everyone around me was.
This
and
is
I walked
crazy.
out. No, I know, and I was just like, oh, the Abbey, the world's famous gay bar, like whatever. And like now, years later, like spending so many nights there. But I remember walking out because the event was done. It was probably like 1 or 1:30, and I will never forget, there was this dad, probably like 50 years old, with his young daughter, and they wouldn't let her in because it was like an adult, bar. And she was like, oh my God, like I waited outside for you. And the dad was like, hi, like a little bit uncomfortable, but kind of like spearheading the conversation, which is so sweet. We walked out, and he was like, yeah, she would really like a picture with you, and she couldn't get in, so we waited outside. And meanwhile, the LA sun is beaming, and I'm in like full high whore drag, like just like, this is my moment, like I'm in LA doing a meet and greet, like this is my moment. And I just remember thinking like, this is like what I want to do. Like, this is so special.
Oh my gosh. And how old were you?
I was probably 18.
So like for
17, 18.
I mean, unless you've been living under a rock, you know that like Gigi started on YouTube in Canada. And so how did that even come about? Like you started YouTube, like how did you get a meet and greet at the Abbey at 18 years old?
So there was this girl, I know exactly, I know everything. Her name was Yvonne Kai, I believe is her last name. And we connected on Twitter, and she was like, I really want to fly you out to LA. And, like, I know you're underage, but like your mom can come. Like, I just really want to work with you. I respect like what you stand for. And at that point I had been sharing like, my sexuality, like coming out as gay back then, and all my beauty tips and stuff like that. And she just really like came for me. She was like, I want you. I see something in you. And I was like, okay. And yeah, she just really like made it happen. She's like a go-getter. I don't know where she's at now, but she was like, I'm going to get you out to LA. I'm going to get you paid. I'm going to get you to do a meet and greet at this gorgeous place called the Abbey. It's you and all your people. I know you're underage, but we'll do it before drinking hours. Like we'll do it like during the day, so it will work. And I remember I didn't have any shoes for my outfit, and I wore like the most hideous outfit. She came to pick me up, talked to my mom. She came to the Best Western. We had like a little conversation, and then I was sent off in her car. She drove like a little white 2-seater Mercedes, and we went to Sexuality, got heels, came back 2 hours later, and I was like, Mom, look, I got heels. And she was like, okay, girl. And I just did my appearance the next day.
That is wild. So you went back to Canada being like, I am a star.
Yeah, 100%.
What was Gigi like in high school? Like, I want to know what you were like in high school.
I was really cool with everyone, I will say. I got bullied a few times, but I really took it upon myself to be like, you won't bully me. And I don't know where this came from. I think it might have been who I was surrounding myself with, but I wasn't going to take being bullied. So a lot of the times I turned the bullying around on the bullies, and I would bully them. And I think that once you show people like your fangs, they get a little scared, especially in high school where everything is the end of the world. Bitch, don't fucking come for me because I'm gay. Don't come for me because I wear makeup. Are you an idiot? No. I'm going to fucking ream you out in front of all the girls you like. I'm going to make friends with all the girls you like. I'm going to make everyone hate you. And that's it. And that's what I did. And it worked for me.
I love that. So you hung out with the girls?
Yes. Beyond. I was really flamboyant in high school. I was wearing like full makeup. I remember every single morning my mom would walk me and my brothers to the front door and like watch us, we'd walk to the bus down the street, like a 5-minute walk. And eventually it would start with a little mascara, and she'd be like, are you wearing mascara? And I'm like, yep. And she would just like be like, okay, you're gonna be late for the bus, so just go. And then it would turn into full foundation, it would just turn more and more and more. And I would wait to the last second to leave the house because I knew she wouldn't tell me to wash it off. But yeah, I don't know. I just feel like that's exactly how I'm going to raise my kids too. I think you got to stand up for yourself, you know? And I think also being bullied or picked on or being different, it builds character. And I think that's what kind of got me like to learn how to like read a room and like, you know, learn the temperature of like every setting that I'm in. But I definitely did take it too far in high school. And I just thought, you know what, fuck with me. And no, like you're going to pay because all the girls liked me.
So you started wearing makeup in high school. Is that when it started for you?
Yes.
So it started in high school. It trickled through. What was the moment? Like, what was the moment that you were like, I want to record myself on my computer?
The moment was, I mean, I was always into like making content, like taking photos and like going to the mall and, you know, taking pictures and videos and stuff like that. And I think when I saw her name was Blair, I don't know. She's like an old YouTuber.
Okay.
She was recording herself doing makeup, and I was like, oh my God, I could totally do this. And I was like, let me just do this. And I was alone in my room testing out makeup all the time. It was like totally like a secret hobby of mine. And I was like, I could do this too. So I just did it and didn't tell anyone. And then probably like 3 or 4 videos in, my whole school knew. Everyone was talking about it. And then I was like, okay, pressure's on because now I got to really perform because these bitches can't see me fail.
See, I just missed I missed that. Like I missed that of high school of like people like talking about anything that was digital. Like that's what's insane to me is like it was like AIM Messenger was the most that we had. Like the internet, like it was beta version. So like I can't imagine what that was like. How did it go from you making videos and kids talking about you at school to like you getting like tons of views and making money? And wanting to move to LA, like give it like even like thinking like that this is the next step kind of thing.
Yeah, honestly, I don't have an answer for that because I feel like I just played every day by day. It was like very like, you know, fight or flight, and I was in fight mode. But what I did was, so I had a bunch of crushes on a bunch of guys in my school, and my YouTube started getting really popular, and everyone was talking about it, and I would post a video, you know, the afternoon after school, and then the next day, a bunch of people, including teachers, would come up to me and tell me like, oh, I love that look, or like, oh, that was so funny, that line that you said, whatever. And I was like, oh my God, people are like watching. So me and my best friend decided to make a reality show very similar to The Hills, and we called it The Campus, and we cast the guys that we had crushes on. We went up to them and we were like, do you want to be on the internet on this channel? So come tomorrow with a change of clothes and hear your lines. And we would make like people kiss, like classmates of us, like kiss, and like we would make crazy storylines. My best friend wrote the scenes. It was very telenovela vibes, but like so good. I mean, I still watch them and laugh. It's called The Campus for anybody watching, but we would be like, should we ask that guy that like, you know, bullied us 2 years ago to like be in a scene and like kiss this girl even though he has a girlfriend? Like, yes, let's do it. And they did it, all of them.
Oh my God, all those motherfuckers that used to make fun of you.
Yes, exactly.
You're
and
like,
then,
no.
Yep.
Now
Karma's a bitch.
It's so true. I mean, people look at you and you just exude confidence, and it's something that like each episode I really talk about like what each person in this like story has, like how they've changed my life. And you really like I was in the midst of like this drag queen stew of like tough love, and you kind of came into my life and were like the girlfriend that I needed. You know, like I was surrounded by a bunch of gay men and drag queens, and you came into my life and were like probably like one of the first girlfriends that I had in a long time. Like I got my SD girlies in San Diego and like and ones that have come in and out of my life, but you during that time where I was like super like hyper focused on like being in WeHo, you were like my main chick.
Yeah, I feel that. I mean, I hate the term girls girl and like boys girl, but like I truly do feel like we're both girls. Like we want to see girls succeed, and like just jealousy and competition and all that bullshit is so annoying. And I felt that energy, and I just feel like it's like easy to be your friend. And also like I know you've said this before, like you like venting and I like venting. So like with each other to bounce off of, it's just really easy to vent. It's almost like a little like therapy session.
Oh, Gigi and I's voice notes are out of control. Like
Yeah, it's only voice notes. I love the voice note aspect too. Some people hate it. I'm like, how? Like you get the cadence, you get everything.
Yes. I mean, we're a little like we love to hear ourselves talk too. Like we do.
That too.
We do. It's like kind of Leo energy. Like it's like very like we both, but like you really have sound advice, and like you're so. And I've said it before, like even being here where I am right now, like Woodbridge, it's like it's really like a safe space. Like I feel like I could be my true self. Like it's like because that's hard. Like growing up, wanting to be a girl's girl, but never felt like there was other girls. And I did grow up with like we are also kind of like girls that like boy things.
Yeah, well, we can be tomboy, rock and roll, punk rock, beyond. I think it's just really like, I love that you said that about my house, because that's exactly the energy that I want it to be. I always want anyone to be who they are, no judgment. And I think that that is such a big component of my happiness recently, personally. And I think it really helps a lot of people. Cutting the fat. If you don't feel nice around anybody, if you feel judged or inspected, or fucking people are rude to you or have an attitude or are bratty, it's time to cut them out of your life, because they're going to suck your energy. And I would rather personally be completely alone than have people around me that are sucking my energy and are making me feel bad about myself. And that is something that I've really had to learn. And I feel like when people walk through the doors of this home, it's very much like, be who you are. If you want to fucking cry, if you want to have a ball, if you want to get drunk, if you want to watch a movie or veg out or whatever, or create content, like I'm always down to do whatever. It's like, you're just yourself here. And then you go back into the world when you leave, you know? I've always felt like that's important to me.
I did write your house, a place where you could be free. It's so fucking drill. I mean,
no, it's funny. It's like, do we give people shrooms when they walk in? No, I really feel like it's the energy. Like I feel my most tranquil when I'm here, and I'm like, I'm glad that that like resonates with other people, and they're like able to like do what they want, say what they want, and like sleep over, whatever you want to do, you know?
No, and like this brings to the point, not like it's like, oh, like we're some like I don't even know the way to like say it, but like you really, like you made me feel comfortable to, this sounds like there's no way to say it where it doesn't sound like we have like orgies or something, but like you.
I know, that's what it gives, like sex, drugs, and like,
no,
but it's not.
But it's not, but there's this, like you like helped me feel comfortable enough to want to even like dive into my sexuality, because for the longest time I was always just like the straight girl that like hangs out with like the gay guys, you know what I mean? And it was like this like, but is she like I mean, like she makes out with girls occasionally, like, and so like you kind of gave, like once you came out for your third time, I was like, oh, like you could come out at any age in your life, you could like explore as long as you want to until you like find love. And so how has sexuality played a role in your life?
I have always been like really attached to labels, and I feel like that's very taboo nowadays. Everyone's like, oh, I'm labelless, like I'm not gay, I'm not straight, I'm not pan, whatever. But I've always felt pride in being like, I am gay, I am trans, I am pan, I am a lesbian. And I just felt like it grounded me and like tethered me to something. And I know now that I mean, I made my video, I am pansexual, because I really just did fall in love with the person, and I feel like that's what it was all along. And it was I just didn't really know the term, I didn't know anything, and also, you know, being on YouTube, there's a lot of pressure to be like, what are you? Like, stand behind something. And I was like, if I stand for everything, then, you know, that's just bullshit. Like, I need to make a stance. So I think I made my last coming out video and I said, I'm pan. But yeah, I felt really tethered to that. And I felt like that gave me like a sense of community, but also a sense of independence, because I felt like I was standing for something that I believed in. And I think it's really important to know that you, which I felt before, you shouldn't be judged on something that you've said previously, because that was your truth then.
Yes, that's so tea. Like, no one talks about that. Like, you could change your mind.
Exactly. You know, and like going back and watching my videos, which I've done before, and it's like so cringe because I'm like, oh God, like that was way years ago. But like, if you say like, I am a lesbian, and you are firm in that, and you are like almost defending that in the video, because people are going to obviously say things. So you want to make it like this is really how I feel. This is my argument. This is my stance. And then you come back and be like, oh no, I'm actually pansexual. It's like, okay, well, you feel like you need to defend that too, because people have, it's once you upload it online, it's there forever. So it's like, you feel like you have a gun to your head being like, well, are you being real? It's like, well, you know, I said it before, but I mean it now too. Like, I was standing in my truth.
And it's always like cis heteronormative people that think that way, because I feel like a queer person would just be like we're queer. Like, it's like, and that's at the end of the day, like, not of the norm is, I think, the definition. And I literally finally watched the Little Richard documentary, which maybe I'll make you watch tonight, that Raja had talked about. But like, that was a huge topic that was like one of the quotes from the movie is like, queer, like it doesn't need to be defined as sexuality, but that of being like different than the norm, which I thought was like so awesome.
Yeah, I think it's over. I think being like tethered to one thing is a little bit over.
Because sex is only one aspect of it. Like, that's another thing people don't talk about with sexuality. Like romance and like what romantically you're into is different sometimes than what you're sexually into as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I also feel like people who have such a hard stance against like, oh, you said you were this, you said you were that. It's like, well, do you have anything going on, girl? Like, what's going on with you? Because at the end of the day, aren't we all human? And like, that's something that used to like bother me. I'd be like, why do I care so much? Like, what is going on? We're all human. Like, it's gonna be okay, Angel.
This isn't a hilarious comparison, but it's like reminds me of the day that you posted the video that you were never going to have extensions again on YouTube.
Love that comparison.
And I texted you and I was like, Gigi, you're never wearing extensions again? And you're like, girl, it's the internet. Like, it doesn't need to be forever. You're like, I just don't want to wear them right now. But that was just like when I start, like, that's just like a great example of like, I don't know, like nothing needs to be, nothing's forever.
Yeah, it's true. As long as you can speak to it, you know? I think that's why a lot of people get nervous about the internet too. I have a lot of friends like in the industry and they're like, should I post this? Should I say this? I'm like, well, can you speak to it? Like if someone's going to ask you about it, like, what are your thoughts? And they're like, oh wait, yeah, I can. And then it's all okay.
I mean, I feel like you're going to be such an amazing mother. Do you want to like tell me a little bit about what's going on with your IVF journey?
Sure. Okay, so Nat's just had his second egg retrieval yesterday. He's currently 2 doors down from where you are right now in my closet, recovering in the bed.
I know, I'm trying to be quiet for him.
No, it's fine. It's fine. There's enough room. Yeah, he did 2 weeks of shots, 4 shots a day, pumped with hormones and all that bullshit. And this is his second round, our second round rather. But I mean, he goes through so much more than I do. I feel so bad because it's just so much needles and so much medication and hormones and stuff. But the first time around, we got 2 embryos, one being a girl and one being a boy. And then this time around, he was like, you know what? I am already, in it. So let me just poke myself up for another 2 weeks. We don't know how many embryos or what is going on yet, but yeah, that's what's happening. We're trying to create as many as we can, and it's it's really confusing because you hear all these numbers and all these statistics about IVF, like, oh, you need to have 8 million swimmers in your sperm at 90% velocity and da-da-da-da-da. Like, there's just so much information going around, but you just, I guess, need to, like, trust the doctors at some point. And right now we have 2 babies, which is great. So,
it's so
any
exciting.
more than that is bad.
Oh my God. What have you learned about yourself during this process?
I actually have learned that I'm not that different, not on hormones, because I've not been on hormones for 2 years now. So I look back and I'm like, I think I cry a little bit less, but like for the most part, I'm pretty much the same girl, which is nice to know, I guess. Because, yeah, I mean, my skin isn't the same. My facial hair is growing back. I definitely am like a little bit more harsh. But I think being harsh isn't the worst thing ever. At least I'm like decisive. You know, I'm not like a little timid bitch.
Well, and I'm like, just like for the average, like curious person, like how, because that's the thing, you brought that up to me. Like you asked me one day, you're like, have I seemed different to you? And I'm like, you literally seem like the same old girl to me. So like, how does that work? The hormones helped you when you were first transitioning and now you've outgrown them? Is that how you would look at it? Because I'm just like, I'm even a little confused because it's like no difference.
Yeah, I don't know. I was on hormones for 10 years, 10 plus years. And, you know, consistently, even sometimes like abusing them, like doing too much. Like I would do like way too much estrogen every single week just because I thought it would make me like prettier or whatever, which estrogen definitely does. It makes you gorgeous. But it helps with it at least, like the softening of the skin and just everything is like more just pretty in my, that's what it did for me. You know, 10 years on and then 2 years off, the only thing I really realize is I'm a little bit less sensitive, but like definitely still feel. I definitely still have empathy and definitely still pretty sensitive when it comes down to the people that I love. But, you know, for the most part, those who I don't love, it's like, fuck you. Fuck off.
You're so empathetic, though.
I think so, too. I think that estrogen just fuels it even more. But for the most part, the biggest difference is, like, the skin. Like, I, like, break out, and, like, my facial hair and body hair is worse, and just things like that. But I think personality, I'm just the same. Maybe I'm just, like, a little bit, I don't even know. Maybe it's age, too, where I'm, like, a little bit more harsh. I just say what I want. I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. No. You know?
The power of no, there is like this age where you get, I think it's like early 30s where you're just like, oh no, I could like, I remember feeling like I had to do something. Like there was something in my brain and like chest that it would be like, if I don't go to that birthday party, then they're never going to be my friend and da-da-da. And then like you say no to a couple things and life stays the same and you're like, wait a minute, like I could say no more.
Yes. And you know what's funny too? I feel like LA is so plan heavy. Like, you know, time, like it's like, will you go to dinner with me on Thursday? It's like, yeah, if I want. It's Friday of last week. Like, I don't know yet. Like, people just love to lock down plans, and I call it holding you at gunpoint. Like, sometimes I feel like people hold me at gunpoint to try to make a plan with me, and I'm like, I don't know. I don't want to, maybe. Can I let you know in, like, 4 days? Like, no. And, like, also, like, you realize, like, these people won't stay, like, mad at you. It's not that deep. Like, it's nothing. Like,
it's not. I think like I told Tiffany once this when she was in her like, shout out Tiffany.
Hey, Tiff. Oh my God, my new nickname for her, by the way, is 2-ply. How funny is that?
2-ply.
It's like her jail name.
Oh my God. Marco always jokes about how like Tiffany and I are going to be like old women living together one day once we like just get over men and just like
Come
we
on,
move
queer.
to like, yeah, we just like very Gracie, was it Grace and Frankie? Like very that. Like once our husbands have died, we like get a beach house and like smoke weed all day together.
No, it's like Dumb and Dumber.
Oh wow. She had to go there, Tiffany. She had to go there.
She's gonna hate me.
A big old wow for Tiffany.
Wow.
No, I started the talks of a girls' trip that we have to be planning, which is a great segue because there was something I wanted to say after you said that, but I forget. So we're gonna move on to the fact that like we have traveled to so many places together.
The world.
The world. I truly believe that like our first time ever bonding was a trip that August planned, and he texted me one day and he's like, can you go to Miami for the weekend? And I was like, fuck yeah. And he was like, okay, awesome. I'm inviting my friend Gigi and Ozzy, and we flew private there, which was my first time flying private. I felt
we did? I forget.
We flew fucking private there.
Oh my God.
And it was our first time. It was my first time. And me and you like had hung, this thing, we had hung out occasionally.
Yep.
Like we were party friends.
Yep.
See you at the club.
A lot of things. Oh my God. Also, let's just say in LA, you see people at night. You don't see them during the day.
Yeah. Like Gigi and I had, it was probably 2 years running that I only seen you in the dark of the night.
Yep. That's how it is, though. I used to feel so insecure. I was like, I'm not going to meet this person for lunch. Like, no. So this was like a breakthrough for us, I feel. I remember that trip really well. It
was a breakthrough, and me and you were like the two girls on the trip, and we just bonded hard, and we dressed up hard, and wore our clip-ins hard, and we had so much fun. And I really think that was like the beginning of like our real friendship, like not our like going out friendship.
Yeah, we're like, this girl isn't a threat, it's fine.
Yeah, I remember we went to that one club where it was like beds, and me and you were like laying in the bed, and we were like, I
think it was actually called Bed.
I think so too.
Like BED.
And there's a Sex in the City episode called, like, there was, like, a bar like that. So I felt like I was living my Sex in the City fantasy.
Do you remember that guy at that club? Like, he was in, I know you do. There was, like, Z Gallery beds, the ones that you're talking about. And then there was a guy in, like, a G-string thong. And there was, like, a bath. Do you remember what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Yeah, there was like a bath and then like crystals hanging down. And then I don't know why I did this. I took his pants off and then I think like you or somebody pushed him on the ground. And then we started taking photos of him. And he was like loving it. Like a dancer has never seen so much action.
No, didn't they pay you? Like not pay you, but ask you to like hose someone off or something? There was something that night where they asked you to like spray the champagne on the crowd.
Oh yeah. And I didn't know how to do it because I had only done it like in a kitchen. So I did it in the club, and then girls 2 floors down were like opening their mouths. And I remember I was pouring it on them, and like their whole faces were covered in champagne. And I was like, oh my God, like did not mean to do that. That's gonna be sticky.
Fuck, we lived. I remember we were like, we lived hard.
Oh, that was so fun.
It was so fun. Out of all the places that we've gone together, what is your favorite?
Oh, it's between Croatia, Dubrovnik, or Mexico.
Honestly, that one Mexico trip was pretty legendary.
It really was. So we stayed at what's his name? Joe Francis?
Joe Francis.
Joe
Francis. The Girls Gone Wild house. Before it burned down, the Kardashians used to stay there too, so it was like very like fantasy, a little bit of that. Like the place where Kim like cries in the bedroom that she doesn't feel safe in.
Yeah. Oh, and I remember fun. And like on the phones, there's like an anything button. Do you remember like ever hitting that? Did you ever hit that button on the trip?
I did. So we were at this place and there was a phone. And on the phone, like, you know how, like, old school phones have, like, the name, like it reminds me of, like, an office building where it's, like, each person's name for each button. So, like, there was a button, or, like, any hotel phone, I guess. I'm a fucking idiot.
Yeah. Oh, my God, literally, though.
But, like, there was, like, a button that said anything. And we were like, what do you mean anything?
Like, anything?
Like, anything. And so we were like, anything.
Anything, bitch. We can only say anything so many times. The viewers know.
Like, think anything.
Anything goes. You could have said anything.
Here's something PC. Like, we were like weed brownies. Like, thinking like a joke. Like, not thinking next day, weed fucking brownies.
Yeah. Or no, it wasn't even next day, Chanel. It was like within like 30 minutes.
Like,
I was like, they have everything in the back. Like, it was giving like, hey, can I have like a Bloody Mary? And they would know what room you were in. 5 minutes. Bloody Mary. Fresh. Cold. Like, just insane. Just,
No, it
that
was.
property is so fun. But also Croatia was really cute too, and also like it was a lot of fun, obviously. But we did the first Dubrovnik Croatian Pride there.
Yes. Okay. So like last summer,
Ye-
2
I
summers
don't know.
ago.
My memory's so bad.
Oh my
I want
God.
to say like 3 years ago.
No, like 2 summers. I think it wasn't this summer. It was last summer. So like
Yeah.
so it was like the summer before this last one. So like almost 2 years, like a year and a half. We went to Dubrovnik because you were there for like a family trip, and I remember like I was going through it because my dad had passed away. It was like right after my dad passed away.
Yeah.
And you, August, and Nats were like, come to Croatia. Like, this place is magical. And I was so excited because I didn't
live on vacation. We've said this before. I think Chanel just lives in a sundress and like gives it her all. Like that's her authentic self. Vacation Chanel.
Oh my God, Nat's like lives for it and we're always like in a different place, and I like dress according to that place. Like I really take on the culture. I really, in a non-appropriating way.
No. Oh my God. What? No, not at all. No, we'll like the night before, it'll be like, okay, what's everyone's plan? What's everyone's vibe for tomorrow? And it's giving like, okay, we're going to meet for brunch at 9. Chanel will be ready at 9 in a pinstripe blue and white with a belt tied romper, strapless, with gorgeous updo, gorgeous sunglasses, purse ready to go. And like knowing our group, no one's fucking ready on time. So she's just ready to go. And like she'll sit down at breakfast and be like, mimosas or no? Like ready to start the day. And I'm like, yes, bitch, let's go. Like best travel buddy ever.
It's my true self. Like I've literally even talked to my therapist about this. Like I am my best self on vacation. And like she thinks it's because I'm like away from everything and I don't have anything to think about and I'm just like my like true self. But like I even think I'm prettier on vacation. Like I get to a new city and I'm like, oh my God, I'm stunning. But like in my WeHo apartment, somehow I can't see it.
Well, you also tan really well. You are a great time. You go with the flow. You know how to dress. You have cute outfits. Yeah, I think that you are your best self on vacation. I really do. I think that you just need to like retire already and just like stay on vacation.
I know. No straight men probably listen to this, but really, I would just make the best vacation wife. Like, I listened to this interview. I think it was Dr. Dre, and he was like, I'm just at that point in my life where I just want like a wife to travel with. And I'm like right here, Dr.
Oh my
Dre.
God, that's your dream.
Dr. Dre.
And you could podcast from anywhere in the world.
Yeah, like I'd still have hobbies. Like I just want to be on the road. This is a good time for a commercial break. I love being at Gigi's house.
Sorry, computer turning back on. It died.
Oh my God, ladies and gentlemen, she is back.
I cannot.
I
believe my computer died from 3% down to 0. Like, what?
I mean, what the fuck's going on? I also was just sitting here
wait.
thinking about like how much of adults we are now from the night that we met, because I like hear this party going on next door to your house and we're like,
There's 2.
we're here working on a Friday. It's Friday night, October 22nd. I mean, it's Halloween. It's around Halloween and we are at home working. We're going to shoot something for you after this.
Easy work to go in and crash the parties, but we're respectful ladies.
Oh my God. So we were talking about like how I'm just amazing on vacation. So are you like not like Gigi is like the best travel fucking gal ever.
You think I'm pretty high maintenance?
You're really not. Like but you get everything out of the trip when you travel with you, because like you're getting content, you're getting activities, you're getting like, I don't think you're too high maintenance. I think you're a good old time. I'm not like a wake up and hike kind of girl. So like you're perfect for me. You know what I mean?
I kind of am now though. I'm like so in my fitness era. The thing is though, I'm so high maintenance and the only person that probably hears about it is Nats, because I need air conditioning. I need a good vanity to do my makeup. Mm-hmm. I need a good shower pressure, and all my products. Like if my bag is lost, I'm a fucking devil. And like, that is terrible. That's high maintenance. I'm low maintenance when it comes to like fun and activities and stuff, but like I need my things. And like I'm not gonna have fun unless I look and feel good.
But guys, that trip to Croatia, Gigi lost her bag. Didn't you maybe just get it back? And you ended up wearing all my dresses.
Yeah. Well, you had stuff for me. So I was like, okay, this is good. And like, I can go on like, you know, a 5 makeup product journey of glam. But like, if I have nothing, I will not feel, I just get triggered because of like my dysphoria or whatever. But I just need to feel like a little bit put together and then I'm good. But yeah, a sundress, are you kidding me? A sundress, a cute set that you have, like instant pretty, instant put together, instant ready to rock.
I mean, I think that's why I love a vacation too, because it's I know I got 7 to 14 days, and all I have to worry about are my looks and everything for those 14 days. Like nothing else matters. The month after, it doesn't matter. The month before that happened doesn't matter.
That's maybe
it's
why
like,
you lean in and rock it so hard.
I lean hard. I'm like, this is like, yeah. Wait, when you said your dysphoria, what do you mean by that?
I mean, I don't know. Other trans girls I'm sure can relate, but like I feel like sometimes, especially now being off hormones, like I need to like get up and shave and like do my skincare and like put on a little bit of makeup or put on a cute like girly outfit because that's just how I like to present myself and like or you know get full glam. I can't. It takes a very special day. Like this morning, for example, I went to go to the gym with my trainer and we were like, I rolled out of bed, rolled my ass out of bed, left within like 10 minutes. And I just felt so gross, but I leaned in and I was like, I'm not gonna, nothing's changing here. Like, I'm just gonna, I feel rough. I feel gross. I don't feel cute. I don't feel feminine, but I was like, nobody's thinking about me. And I feel like that's something that you need to tell yourself all the time. But sometimes like the voices in your head get the best of you. And I'm like, I feel so masculine. I feel so gross. And there's nothing I could do because I already left the house. But, you know, on vacation, especially like, you know, in Croatia or like Mexico or something, you want to look cute. And like my cuteness is like, I want to put on a little bit of makeup. So that's my dysphoria.
Well, we didn't even tell. Okay, so we have to tell them now. And that's, I do remember on the trip you saying something of like, as long as I have like like I need my hoop earrings, like I need something. And it's so fucking relatable because like if you're feeling, there's so many memes of it now, but it's like a hoop earring will just like get you together. But that you were like, I need a hoop earring, some mascara, and a push-up bra. Like that, like if I have something like that, then that's all I need. And it's like so tea. It's so tea.
And it changes your mood. Like it really like if you don't have what you need in the moment, it's like it's almost like put a girl who doesn't like glam in full glam and have her go live her night. How uncomfortable would she be? Extremely uncomfortable. Put a girl that's used to full glam without any glam and let her live her night. She's going to be extremely uncomfortable. There's got to be some kind of medium. And I will always make it happen, regardless of where I am. I will take it back to Egyptian days and use like actual tar for mascara because my lashes are blonde and I will literally make it happen because I'm not going to feel uncomfortable in my skin. Not after all this work, honey.
No. So we got to Croatia. Gigi lost her fucking bag, but we were at this like amazing fucking hotel, like on an edge of a cliff, like where all you could just see was water for fucking days.
And like hundreds of birds like swirling around and like flying in circles.
Still water. Like the water didn't move.
It was wild, right? And so many boats. Like it was like picturesque. Like
what's
wallpaper.
that? The Adriatic Sea? Is that what we were at?
Oh, I don't remember.
I'm pretty sure. We'll edit it out if I'm speaking wrong.
Sounds right.
It sounds. I remember like Googling it, but like talk about like. Now that I look back, because I think back to that trip and I'm just like, talk about like the perfect trip after like losing a parent. Like just to be able to like sit still. And all I did was drink white wine and eat bread for.
Yes. Oh, the bread in Europe, Chanel. That's our bonding moment. Also dead parents, but.
Yeah. Dad
That's a
parents.
beautiful, beautiful experience. I'm so happy that we got to do that together.
And you knew it. Honestly, like during, I've talked about it like briefly on the pod, but like during my losing my dad, like you were the person I clung to because you understood. And it is this weird thing. And that's why I try to be that. Like if I see someone lose a parent now, I'm like I want them to know that I know what they're feeling, because in that moment you feel like nobody could feel these feelings that you're feeling inside.
Yeah. I always just felt like I could just shoulder for you. I don't know, like I feel very much like guarded in my feelings when it comes to my mom, because I feel like nobody gets it unless they've lost a parent. But even then, it's like they don't really know my experience with it. And I just listen. I think that's the most important thing. It's like, if you want to tell me anything, tell me something, because I've lost a parent too, and it's going to be fine. And I'll just give you my 2 cents, whatever. But I'm not going to preach. I'm not going to sit here and preach to you. I'm not going to tell you like my coping mechanism, because I had years of denial, years. I was like, my mom's not dead. Like, it's fine. Like, you know, I don't regret those things that I said to her, or like, you know, you just go over everything. And I'm like, no, like, no. And then you come to realize that you need to vent it out to somebody, or like a loved one, a best friend, a therapist, whatever. That's what healed me personally. But I'm a truly guarded person. Like I never really let anybody in. Like I'm always fine. I'm going to be self-sufficient till the day I die. But when it comes to that, we got to talk to somebody, you know? And that's something that like God blessed us with. I truly feel that we were able to like bond over that. And like we were just brought together in this way that with, you know, lost parents. Like I think I know you, another person, and I think that's it. That's lost a parent. That's really close to me. So it's very special.
And similar, like we knew like that, and that's what like people don't like Gigi didn't say the perfect thing to me. She didn't send me the perfect text message. She didn't write the perfect thing on my Instagram post. Like she just knew what I was going through that time, because your mom had cancer and my dad had cancer. Your mom had cancer, right? Yeah. And so
Yeah, she had breast cancer, and then
like no matter whose parent passes away, it's this feeling of the like loneliness that like is so hard to explain. But like cancer, like that like I never understood fuck cancer. Like I mean I get it, like I got it, like I got cancer was like awful, but like you get the bumper stickers when you go through it, because it really is just like a waiting. It's like it's fast but slow is like the best way to describe it. Is like it happens so fast and you're like, oh my God, like that time went by so fast. And you, like you said earlier, you replay every moment of your life. It's like the weirdest thing ever. You like start at your first core memory as a child, and you try to like, it's like your brain's way of like healing or something. It's like you want to think about every moment that you shared with them. So it's really hard, and I just like had to publicly thank you for being so there for me during that time.
I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. I feel like everyone deals with it differently. I just feel like you can't expect to like deal with it or give advice on it or anything like that unless you go through it. Or like, you know, like I don't even know how I feel now. Like some days I'll wake up and I'll be angry. Like literally. I'm like, how dare I'm not able to share this with my mom right now. How dare I'm not able to introduce my mom to this person right now. You know, like my mom would have loved this. Or like, I was reading this book, and it's like one of the most common things that once you lose a loved one, you lose the sound of their voice. And I lost that. It wasn't until I saw a photo of my mom and I thought, how does she sound again? Like, what does the sound of her voice sound like? Because I forgot. And I had to hear a video, and then I heard the video, and it was different than I remembered, and it was really triggering and hard, and you just start to forget the person. And it's like, You just decide to live every single day like it's your last after you lose somebody like that.
Maybe that is why, like, I am so happy on, like, vacation and stuff, because it's like, life's been tough, honestly, and like LA's tough. Both of our lives have been fucking tough, and so yeah, like on vacation, it's like the one time I could, like, you know, just think about nothing.
Mm-hmm. There's always so much going on in our brains that I feel like that is where you thrive. And really, like, you just are down for anything. It's like, oh my God, brunch was scheduled for 10, but like, we're going to go shopping instead. You're like, okay. Or like, we're going to go sit by the beach. You're like, okay. Like, just down. And that's like what you need traveling. Like, just a down ass bitch. Like, not you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm down for whatever.
Really easy and
I'll be on time. I love to be told where to be. Like, I love it. Like, I love an itinerary. Like, be ready by 8, on it. Like, I will have the dress ready. But yeah, we like full on. I feel like that's the thing. It's like we came into each other's lives for a reason, because there was so many times during my dad being sick, because we had been friends way longer before, you know, like I knew you as someone that lost a parent, but we like never talked about it. And that's what was like, when my dad got sick, it was like, I can't believe we never talked about this. I can't believe you went through this and you were still like, you still went out and you were still like alive. And it like gave me motivation to want to keep living. Because there are moments where you're just like, this life doesn't like, it doesn't seem good, you know? And so you were a lot of the motivation. I remember like going to your wedding, and like even the fact that like, it's just like, you were great on your wedding. Because I think about that shit too. That's the thing. You think about like all the moments that your parents are going to miss, you know?
Yes.
So you've inspired me so much. You really have.
Oh, I love Chanel. You also have inspired me, because the way that you dealt with his passing is, it's graceful, and you're being vulnerable and like opening up about, you know, how you feel and like bad days and stuff like that is really important. I feel like putting on a face, which like I tend to do all the time. I'm like, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine, don't worry. Like that, it's like putting a Band-Aid over a bullet wound. Like it doesn't always really settle. So it's nice to talk about your feelings, and like you've really taught me that, and your dad would be so proud of you, Chanel.
Oh, I love you. I used to wait for the party to cry to my friends. Like, I was that girl for a long time. But then you lose, like, honestly, real shit happens, and you go, oh my God. Like, I cried, and I was a crazy bitch. And, like, I still have those days where I have to be like, whoa, Chanel, you know, reel it in. It's usually, like, the day before my period. But, like, it's, like, it really, I don't know. You've just always been, like, a safety net for me. And I love you.
I'm always here to listen, always, no matter what. Even if I don't really get it and it might be too much, you know, emotion for me, I'm here to listen. Like, I really am. Like, I think I was talking to my friend about this the other day, actually. And I thought of you, Chanel. You said that you feel comfortable opening up to me because I just ask questions back, or like, how did you put it?
Yes, like there's this natural response when someone tells you something serious, that like the natural human reaction is to like give a comparable story. Like, oh, well, one time that happened to me and da da da. And like, you've never been like that. Like, you always have a follow-up question. Like, it's like instead of being like, oh, well, I've been through that too. Like, you just always have a question that's like meaningful, that like is actually like cares about like how that made me feel, or how did that, like, you really are, you're an Oprah. You've got Oprah in you.
Oh my God.
I feel like Oprah I feel like Oprah does the same thing. Like, there were so many times in her career where she could have been like, really, bitch, like I've been through a lot too, but she always just like has like a great follow-up question that like is actually engaging, and that like actually shows that you really care about how I'm feeling, like my feelings.
Yes,
you know,
some people are landing boards. It's like, you feel, because they need to get something out, you know. And like, whenever I know, however, if I'm ever in that mood, I know that I could just bounce shit off of you too. Like, you have the Oprah quality. We're both Oprah.
People think when they like give you like a comparison story that like it's like you're gonna be like, oh, Okay, then I feel better. But it's like, no, that's not, like, it never makes the person. So I mean, I was guilty of that for years. And I really try to like.
I feel like I've done that literally during this recording, but
You
I try
haven't.
to,
You
no,
haven't.
I feel like I have though. I only try to really do it when I feel like it adds to like the value. Of
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, when it's needed.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I talk about like how each person like taught me something, you know, it's like Raja taught me how to be a fucking like run fucking WeHo. Like I like feel like I've like, and I think that is a part of like friendship and like finding yourself in your 20s, especially like anyone listening in their 20s is like finding those people that inspire you and that like bring out a certain part of yourself that's already in there, like in your soul, like if you will, you know, like I was always these qualities. It's just like certain people bring them out in you, and that's how the people that you should choose to surround yourself with. And like you brought out in me a sense of like of being myself, of like because it was during a time where like I was tough loved by so many queens, and like and it did have an effect on me. Like it gave me like tough fucking skin, but like you kind of gave me the freedom to like just be myself, and I love you for that.
I love you. Oh my God, that's so cute. You've always been an emotional, sensitive girl to me.
I'm like a big sappy, like I tell you everything.
Yep. That's how I feel, honestly.
Yeah, and like just freedom
I would
to
hate to
be.
be the bitch end of Chanel. Let me tell you that much.
I'm scared of you too. I think we're like equally scared of each other, so we're like
Yeah, so we're nice to each other.
Ah! Okay. Oh wait, our game. Okay, I forgot to. Okay, so we're gonna wrap up this episode because we've got more wine to drink, and I'm ready to like take a shot. I think.
Same.
It's Friday night, guys. I'm letting
I do
loose.
love a game though.
Oh wait, no. Just last thing, I said that I was going to tell you what I would cast you in an alternate universe.
Is it F-Boy Island?
No. Do you want to be on F-Boy
Or like
Island?
Love Is Blind? I don't watch F-Boy Island, but like, are there F-girls on there?
Well, there is going to be a new series called F-Girl Island that's coming out. It's going to be everything. Yes, I cast F-Boy Island and F-Girl Island, and the new season's amazing. Shout out to that. No, I would. Okay, so
To that.
shout out to that. But yeah, no, in an alternate universe, no, like, I mean, if we're talking dating shows, like, I don't know, like, you're married, like, it's just hard for me to, like, you haven't been a single girl for a while, so it's hard for me to do that. But right now, like, if you weren't Gigi Gorgeous, like, especially because you're going through your fitness journey right now, like, I could totally see you on Survivor.
Is that still airing?
I'm talking alternate universe, like any reality show ever. Like I'm just thinking of like Gigi Gorgeous, like they wouldn't know what to do with you. And like you really are a survivor.
I am a survivor, bitch. Yes. And I'm strong. I would say, okay, so for Survivor, I love that.
Alternate universe, you went on Real World, like Real World Canada. Like this is like sliding doors. You were on Real World Canada, and then you became like one of those MTVers that's on like every challenge.
Right. Yes. And just switch shows. Yeah. I can see it. I've always loved those shows so much. I feel like it's so fun. Also, fun. I feel like, speaking of MTV, I feel like the show Next needs to come back.
Oh my God. I loved Next. Is that where they would like get the people on the bus? Or was that the one?
And then like they would see for like Next.
Okay, so we're going to wrap this up. I mean, I don't really like, what was it? Like, because I'm just wondering what's like our friendship. It started out as like, you know, two girls. Like I knew what I found in you was this like confidence I wanted. This like ability to like not give a fuck. To just like live authentically as myself. So I just want to thank you. And I wanted to know, like, is that, like, did you see authenticity of me? Because we talked about, like, you said I just seemed like a good aura, but I kind of want, like, a little bit more from you.
You know, I think you think that I was always exuding confidence, but I thought that you were exuding a lot of confidence. And I've always been attracted, especially to females that are confident, especially in a room with a bunch of guys, especially in a room in LA, intimidating factors, whatever goes on. You have really always just been yourself. Your like tagline, nickname, handle is "Shut Up Chanel" because you speak your fucking mind and you don't stop talking, which is so admirable. And that's just people that I like to align myself with. So like I think that when we got to know each other, I'm like, this girl speaks her mind. Like she really is so outspoken, and like she'll stand up for me. I'm gonna stand up for her, and we're gonna be in this together. And like she's a brunette and I'm a blonde, and it was just like kind of a match. And I was like, this girl is like my new LA friend, and that just never really went away. And I'm really happy for that. And I think that we're connected in like a lot more areas than we can even get into on this podcast, but we touched on a few, and I just feel like it's just meant to be. Don't you think?
I love you. Oh my God, we went so long. Okay, tell me to shut up.
Shut up, Chanel.
Okay, let's go get your shit done. I love you. Okay. I'm gonna come meet you downstairs. Bye.